to the STEM MENA conference. My name is Fatma El Badr and I am an Esports Club Manager at Al Bayan Bilingual School of Kuwait. Okay, see that was good, right?
That was good. The only thing I don't like is the wireless microphone cord.
Cord.
Yes.
Does it show?
It's much better now.
Okay.
My name is Evgeny. I work at Al Bayan Bilingual School as a technology integration specialist.
We hope that by taking you through a timeline of how we launched an esports club at our school, you will learn not only how esports can support STEM learning skills at your school, but also how to launch a similar initiative in your context.
One way for you to interact with us is use Q&A feature of the event app. You have a question, you need clarification, pop it in there, and we'll get back to you right away. Our presentation will have 3 parts. In the first part, we'll tell you the objective and what you will get out of it. In the second part, we'll take you through the timeline of our Scholastic Esport Club from the moment of inception to this very date. And finally, we'll share with you some takeaways, things that will hopefully help you develop a similar initiative in your educational settings. So let's look at why we're even taking this time to tell you this story. We hope that this presentation will inspire you to launch similar initiative so you can live through a similar or maybe even better story with your students in your educational context. We couldn't think of any better way to accomplish this objective by taking you through the timeline of our Scholastic Esport Club. The starting point was virtual campus.
We started off by building our school through Minecraft education. It was a simple idea, we thought at first, but we discovered just how powerful it could be.
To give you a snippet of what BBS Virtual Campus eventually looked like, let us show you a short video clip.
In this video, you're going to hear an Arabic commentary at first and then the English translation after. أنشأنا برنامج صيفي Virtual Campus لتطوير مهارات شخصية طالب المستقبل مثل مهارة المسؤولية والعمل الجماعي، ولكن اكتشفنا أنه كان يخدم هذا المشروع هدف أكبر بكثير، حيث لم نكن نبني مدرستنا فقط، بل كنا نبني أيضاً مجتمعاً عبر مسافات بعيدة جداً. فخورين جداً بطلابنا وحياكم الله في مدرستنا الخيالية.
A virtual campus paved the way for skills such as integrity, responsibility, and teamwork. However, as we near its completion, we see that this project is more than just building soft skills. We were not only building our school, but we were also building a community across social distances. We cannot be more proud and pleased with the amount of passion and perseverance demonstrated by BBS students as we welcome you all to our virtual school.
Building our school got us wondering whether we could start an esports club. Here we were with this very unique opportunity in the middle of a pandemic, transition to online learning, and we thought with the suspension of physical sports, could we maybe start an esports club where we could take all the skills that a student learns in the physical sports and translate them into esports.
I received an email from our Deputy Director, Kevin Fulbrook, asking me if we can consider looking into Scholastic Esport, and we decided to explore. So the result of this stage was a document that we put together.
We presented the school with our findings and research and highlighted the growing importance of esports in the education field.
And this is one of the resources that we are happily will share with you if you decide to embark on this journey. Share all the research that we did now, and so save you some time and effort, and we're more than happy to share the entire proposal with you so you can adjust it to your settings. So let me take you through the proposal really quickly. First of all, if you're trying to establish an esport club in your educational setting, you've got to well, for the lack of a better word, educate your audience. So in our case, we had to educate our school board, explain what is esport. This is a competitive multiplayer gaming. It's a team-based. It requires lots of incredible skills. It's completely related to STEM and STEAM. Scholastic esport it's not just playing. There's also a huge viewership aspect. In this slide, you can see that esport is actually, I think as of time of the recording, it surpassed the conventional sport in terms of number of people watching it, at least in North America. And finally, we share some findings related to effect of games on student outcomes. There are numerous studies that support the idea of using games and gamification, esport in particular, in the school programs. There are scholarships offered by well-established universities, at least in North America. Finally, we introduced an ecosystem. The esport ecosystem consists not only of people playing. There's a misconceived notion that if we talk about computer games or esport, there are only students who are playing computer games. It's much more than that.
What's great about esports is that the buck doesn't just stop with the gamers and the games. It's opened a world of opportunities for students to discover their passions in the many fields of the ecosystem of esports: video production, event management, game design, shoutcasting, marketing, journalism, video production, and many more.
I'm not saying we're doing all this, but that's our aim, to integrate with fidelity all those things into our esport ecosystem or scholastic esport. The slide that you're looking at right now is a self-reported results from students involved in scholastic esports. As you can see, the green and yellow colors demonstrate growth or development in STEM-related skills, problem solving, quantitative reasoning, etc. The orange color, and that's why it's highlighted, these are the takeaways in social emotional learning. We're not only talking about IT-related skills developed through the esports, they're also learning that is happening on social emotional front. We included some of the things that we've done in the past. Minecraft Virtual Campus was one of them, and Minecraft Entrepreneurship Project.
The success of both Virtual Campus and our entrepreneurship project showed us that gaming can be a very good way for students to learn.
We just included them in the proposal to make it more weighty, to make our case more solid. Finally, it was a unique opportunity as well, and I think we are still in this new normal where most of the sports, conventional sports, conferences are on a hold, and the schools need a way to get communities together to promote this competitive spirit in students, and esports is one of the ways to do that. Finally, at this stage of exploration and research, we discovered Discord, which is a designated platform for communication related to games. We strongly encourage you to look into this communication platform, look at the functionality, possibilities out there, because again, speaking about the importance of communication, Discord made it super easy for us to coordinate Virtual Campus and later on esports. It does have an age restriction, but I'll talk a little bit about that later on. Discord also, on this note, allowed our students to take ownership, because most of the gamer students who were with us were already using Discord, so they were our teachers. They were setting up the server, they were taking ownership, they were looking into ways to automate how Discord functions. So it was a beautiful opportunity for students' ownership and students' agency. The next breakthrough was affiliation with NASEF, North America Scholastic Esport Federation. And it was a breakthrough for three reasons. First of all, the organization provided us with guidance, structure, and affirmed us that it's okay that students enjoy video games. You don't have to shun away from this fact. You actually have to ride this fact and extract as much value as possible. So they provided structure, they provided a way to scale up our Virtual Campus project into something bigger, and finally they provided this amazing esport ecosystem that we use to conceptualize our idea. I think the learning here is, if you decide to launch similar initiative, I think it's important to have someone who is on the same path but a couple of steps ahead of you. In our case, it was North America Scholastic Esports Federation. In this case, we could be these people who are a little bit further ahead than the school who has only started, and we are happy to provide this guidance, support, and encouragement, share resources. So it was crucial for us to have someone who is further along the path, and we can be these people for you. This was the stage where we decided to launch competitive Minecraft. I think the best way to describe it is just to show you a short video clip of what competitive Minecraft was and is in our esports ecosystem. The world has two bases. There's a blue base, there's a red base, and each team is trying to capture the flag of the opposing team while protecting their own flag. Both teams are in the Discord channel, so they're communicating, they can strategize. All right, so now when we have 5 players in the red team, we are ready to start. Suleiman is trying to capture the flag of the blue team.
I got their flag, I'm running.
Once the flag is captured, player's task is to bring the flag back to their base. So the red team has captured the flag, and the score on the right you can see is 1-0. So it looks like the blue team has started crafting swords.
Mark, behind you, there's Baha.
Blue team has captured the flag, so Ali has the flag now. He's in the blue team, and he's now trying to move really quickly with the flag back to their team.
I'm not gonna get it, I'm running.
Okay, I have one. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the red team is trying to recapture the flag.
I have a sword.
The red team has cooperated. Looks like they have a strategy where a team of miners finding resources and then using crafting table to craft weapons and armor for their team to increase their damage and protect themselves from the damage. If we join their Discord, the red team is continuously communicating with each other.
Never mind, you have a own sword.
I have a enough.
Okay, Tal, you want this own sword?
Wait.
I'm behind you. Sorry.
One second. I'm going good. I'm blocking the way. I have their flag.
No one can stop him because I think he's got a iron sword that was crafted by one of his teammates. Blue team has to do something really quickly to protect their base. Wow, look at the defense for the red team. They have a great team. The red team barely leaves its base. They're just building the defense really, and then they have one player who is constantly attacking the blue team. So they only have Suleiman who is capturing the flag, and now the red team has won the game. After launching the competitive Minecraft, things really scaled up. Now when we had an actual map to play, we started generating some artifacts, we started recording video clips, reaching out to our schools, we're starting to gauging the wider interest really.
We sent out a survey addressing both parents and students' concerns about the safety and to better understand what games students were interested in playing.
Not only we had an idea of scholastic esport, but we also realized that it's important to know what students are interested in, what concerns parents might have about esports. That brings us back to the design thinking cycle where you start with a problem and then you start building empathy towards the end user. In our case, it was our community, and it was really important for us, and I think it's going to be the same. It's going to be as important for you when you decide to make an announcement, is to make sure that you gauge the interest, that you look at your audience, look at your community, and actually see what their concerns are, what games they're interested in, what potential threats they see in this endeavor, just to make sure that everyone's voice is heard. This was also the stage marked by our early adopters. If you are familiar with diffusion of innovation model, which basically explains how an innovation takes hold in society, and according to the diffusion of innovation model, the innovation can actually be called innovation and be called sustainable when it reaches early maturity. When it becomes relatively widespread, the idea becomes relatively well received by early maturity. All things that fall short of this are very likely to just die out eventually. So that was a crucial step for us to break out just of our community of this small number of innovators. We started receiving emails in response to the social media posts, in response to digital or video artifacts that we started putting out there. We started receiving positive feedback from people expressing interest in this idea, asking us to have a match with them, asking us to share the Capture the Flag map. And that led us to the summit, or the pinnacle of our innovation so far. A sense of community actually evolved around this idea. We had parents who supported our idea, we have administrators, we had students, we have faculty members who were deeply invested. So this idea actually crystallized in a community. So it was a wonderful sense of achievement. There was also a great level of competition at this stage. We had matches with schools in North America. Lots of learning took place as well. And this is just a snippet of what it looked like when we were there at the summit pursuing the esports. Yesterday, BBS Minecraft education team competed with Two Rivers High School from Wisconsin, USA. Welcome to round 2 of Capture the Flag between BBS and Wisconsin, US. Even though two teams were 8 hours and thousands of kilometers apart, the game was a real blast. Not only students were given an opportunity to officially compete in their favorite game and being key figures of a live stream, but also a great deal of learning took place. Students from both teams strategized and worked together to outwit their opponents. Suleiman is trying to make his way all the way back to their base. Students demonstrated commitment, teamwork, and were humble in victory and graceful in defeat. Fahad is trying to mine some resources. Big shout out to BBS students who represented their school at the match yesterday. Without you guys, this match wouldn't have been a reality.
We quickly learned that starting an esports club is not as easy as we thought it would be. Soon after resuming online learning, we faced an implementation dip
caused by 3 things. First of all, we had to go back to school. All the things I described before spanned from April, May to around August, September. So when we got back to school, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to carry on because both Fatma and myself had other duties related to, well, day-to-day operations, and we didn't know how to integrate the esport into the bigger scale of things.
We also discovered that Discord, which was our communication channel, although very effective for communication, was a safety concern for our students. We discovered that our personal laptops were not enough to sustain esports as a whole.
We couldn't actually do more than just Minecraft because both Fatma and I work on our personal laptops, and there was no way we could run any other games but Minecraft because the laptop will simply heat up and you can barely touch it because MacBooks are notorious for being horrible at handling games. So that was the 3 main reasons why at some point all activities eventually just came to a stall because we didn't have time. We were so discouraged by the safety concerns because there were budget cuts and the school could not provide the hardware. So it was a whole, range of things. And at some point I was actually thinking about just putting an end to it. But then we just decided to regroup and, pull together and start thinking about, all right, what can we do with these limited resources? And this is a very important, probably the most important lesson of this presentation is things are gonna get rough. Things will most likely be rough because launching this initiative is not a plain walk in the park. It takes lots of effort, like any other innovation really, and there will be lots of setbacks. So let me tell a couple of things how we were able to gradually recover.
We started to negotiate and asked admin for better machinery.
Think about how the general managers, so the people who run the club, are going to be compensated, how to basically institutionalize this thing.
We also made the tough but necessary decision to disclude any students under the age of 13 on Discord.
We were trying to get back to school one more time. We were trying to, fight through inertia and recover, basically. Luckily, we were able to break through and actually recover to the present moment where we currently are.
We started looking at other competitions that we could be involved in and even started our very first FIFA 21 competition.
We were able to streamline our communication channels. We found a way to get back those students who were excluded due to privacy concerns of Discord. We had 2 communication platforms, Google Classroom for students 13 and below, and Discord for students 13 and above. We now have contacts in North America, Europe, Russia, Australia, Middle East region, people who are interested in this idea, people we are collaborating with. So I think it's safe to say that we passed through the early adopters to early majority and keep scaling up.
We reached out to local members of the esports community and found out that they were also very interested in developing esports academically.
At the end, we were able to negotiate a stipend for this position. When I say this position, I mean a general manager of the esports club, which Fatma and myself are. This was completely unprecedented. We haven't had such a stipend or category before, but we were able to, I would say, institutionalize this position into the school ecosystem, which makes it easier for us to actually recruit other faculty because now we sort of have a formal position and it's easy to get more people involved.
We're looking at ways to incorporate esports into our curriculum and offer it as an elective in the next coming year.
And there are just plenty of opportunities out there that just take really time and effort to explore, but we are serious about making this a reality, making esports integration with curriculum a reality. Finally, we are ramping up our efforts in increasing visibility, leaving our footprint in the digital domain, because that creates momentum, that gets people interested, and this is one of the reasons we're presenting this to you to increase visibility of scholastic esport, because the more schools we have on the bus, the more schools we have participating, the more opportunities are there for students to compete with other students, see what other schools are doing. It's just building a massive community really, and this is what we're after. And the following video clip, I hope, will summarize the current state of our esports club. Here at BBS Esports Club, we're giving you a chance to explore your passion for competitive video games.
If you love games and if you love gaming, we have the perfect outlet for you to come meet like-minded students and become a part of a larger community
where students can get together, learn from each other, play their favorite games. These days, we mainly compete in Minecraft.
We hosted several games with schools across the world, including Hawaii and Wisconsin.
However, we are planning to expand to include such titles as League of Legends, Overwatch, and FIFA. And you don't have to be a gamer to be part of the eSport Lab. We're on the lookout for passionate individuals, students who are interested in exploring streaming, shoutcasting, creating digital content, even coaching other players.
Come meet like-minded students, join our club, and become a part of this community.
Having started with a simple idea, virtual campus, moving to esports inception research, affiliation with NASIF or a larger body to provide guidance and support, scaling up our efforts, reaching the pinnacle or highlight, taking a deep dive, and then being able to recover. This has been our journey so far, and we have takeaways that we would like to share with you in an effort to provide you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of a leg up when you start a similar project in your educational settings. First, it's really important to have the right people on the bus, the collection of critical mass. Try, locate passionate people in your educational settings. Could be high school students who are passionate about competitive games. Try to locate those educators, maybe administrator, who has an interest in this. Without this critical mass, launching something similar is going to be really, really hard and maybe even not realistic.
Starting an esports club is not as easy as we thought it would be. It's innovation romanticized. Initially we thought, let's just gather a group of students, let's rally a couple of teachers, and let's start this club.
Very few people talk about the hardships and setbacks that you're likely to experience when you launch an innovation. And this is our takeaway from our journey, is that launching something great is awesome, but you've got to make sure, you've got to be prepared to power through, to go through the setbacks and persevere.
I think if it wasn't for the exceptional opportunity of us dealing with the pandemic and kind of making the transition to online learning and the suspension of physical sports, then maybe this club wouldn't have happened in the manner that it did.
Unintended consequences is the best outcome of scholastic esport. When you start this journey, you have no idea where you will end up being. You have some idea, but for the most part, you will see some things that you did not anticipate, positive things, as well as some negative things, but I think it's two parts of the coin. But most of the time, you will see learnings, you will see students' growth in the areas where you did not anticipate it. And hopefully you will experience that. Hopefully you will most likely experience this as well.
We've had games with schools across the world, and this not only developed sportsmanship in our students, but it also gave them a better cross-cultural understanding with each other. You know, we had games where students across the world, so in Seattle, had to wake up at 7 a.m. And a funny story was when we asked our students if they would wake up at 7 a.m. for a game, and we got some pretty interesting answers.
Can you talk about community aspect? You did this part really well.
We were building a community within each other and sort of relying on each other for, okay, I hate that all, just scratch all of that out. I'm gonna do it one more time. I don't know why I get so nervous in front of the camera. When we would get together and build our school, we would meet twice a week on Discord, and we would group up into different groups, and we'd have all these text channels and all these video channels. And we actually used the map, the blueprint of our school to map out where the different buildings were. And you know, one unintended consequence of all of this was that we discovered we weren't just building our school. We built a larger community within ourselves. Okay, was that good? I think that's it.
Yeah, let's go finish it up.
We need a closing. Be like, I don't know, should we mention that we have resources if people need them? If anyone, one more time. You know, it's when I say and then I'm like, hold on, stop saying
It's okay.
So if any of you are looking for help in starting esports at your school, you know, we have all the resources that we made, and we would love to share them with you. We have
a proposal to the school board, the esport charter that we have our students sign, provide you assistance with setting up competitive Minecraft or Discord or streams or anything really. Our interest is to grow this community so we have more competition. That's our interest. And along the way, help you do some amazing things.
You know, we can all see esports growing around the academic fields, and this would be a great opportunity for us to connect.
I want to say thank you and hope to see you in the discussion panels where we'll be able to provide more in-depth, more comprehensive answers to your questions.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we look forward to hearing from you.